Hey there, tankers. Seattle Forge here, and I'm exhausted. And I had a really good day, but it was really stressful, and it's over, and it went well. And I get this replay from one of my clanmates, Golf Dude 3, aka Walt. And he's in his Luke's a Tier 4 German light tank in a Tier 6 game on Prokhorovka. It's a light tanker's dream, but unfortunately, he plays this really well. He was doing what he was supposed to do, and he gets caught out, but he takes a little bit of damage, and he's zigging and zagging, and the enemy team's shooting at him, and he's smart enough to run away. Just run the fuck away. Alright, well, he's running away and recovering himself. I found the loot boxes thing going on right now pretty interesting. The loot boxes, I think, if you are doing it just to get one of the Tier 8 tanks, particularly the IS-3A, don't do it. If you're doing it for premium time and the crew members that you can get, and you're going to invest a bit, that's cool. You'll get your gold value out of those loot boxes, which is why... But if your only goal is to get the IS-3A, don't do it. Quickie Baby opened up 200 loot boxes, didn't get an IS-3A. I opened up much less and got it on my 5th loot box, and I don't even care if I got it. I actually jumped in on that. The other thing I didn't like about his video is that he didn't cover the fact that when you actually, apply the crap in the loot boxes and get your Christmas bonuses, you actually get stuff, right? So, I got 4 premium crew members, and I got a commander that has Brothers in Arms and Sixtents to start with. So, and I don't know what I don't know what tank I'm gonna put it in. Maybe my Tier 9 Chinese heavy tank, Ting Ting, that I moved the crew up to the 5A, and it's a pretty crappy crew. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But I get the gambling charge, and I get that it's a lure, and I get kids can be affected, and kids shouldn't be gambling. And if you're doing it just for the IS-3A, fuck off. Don't do it. You're not going to get it. The odds are totally against you. Don't be a retard. People play the lottery thinking they're going to get rich all the time and can, break themselves. And I worked in a convenience store through high school, and I saw people pouring money they didn't have into the lottery, hoping to make it big, and never did. The years I worked there, they never made up for any of the money that they actually spent on the lottery. The lottery isn't an indulgence; it's not an investment. But I got the IS-3 on my 5th box. I made a shit pile of gold, but I also have. Here's the other thing. I am a grown up. I have my own money. I have money to spare. I do rather well, and if I see a premium tank I like, I buy it. And I wish I hadn't bought all of them, but I won in the loot boxes tons of them that I already had, so it turned into gold. I think I got 7 E25s, and I've had that thing since it came out. So that's almost 7,000 gold each time I nabbed an E25. And I did get all of the Christmas bonuses. All right, let's take a look at this game. Walt is he's sparring. He's getting 574 assistance, and he's got 211 damage, and it's 8-5 against. He spots a Hetzer up on the hill. So odds are not in favor here. And he spots the T40 squishy target up there, and he does start to throw out some shells. With the diminished number of tanks, he can start to take more chances of taking shots and getting spotted. But there are still 3 artillery on the enemy team, but that T-40's put away. It is now 6-9. 69. And a T1 heavy muscles in on his territory. But Walt is going to get his hull, and he's going to be able to put a few in there, and then back the fuck up. And the T1 heavy didn't keep advancing. Did he track him there or what? He should have just pressed in. Really should have pressed in. And Walt does his evade. And isn't tagged. And it's now 7-9. because the Hetzer has been destroyed by our M4, who's over there by the railroad tracks at B7. So, if there are kids out there who are buying loot boxes, then shame on their parents for letting them have the credit card and all that kind of stuff. And if there are people with low impulse control who don't have money, who are hoping for an IS-3A, and they keep buying loot boxes till the cows come home, and I feel sorry for them. It is an OP tank. I have one. Sorry. I actually got a Defender, too, even though I had the 252U already that I traded in an old... I think I traded in a Panther 88 to get it on a discount. And I hardly ever play it. I know it's OP, but I don't play like Strongholds or anything. That would be a good idea. Could put my IS-7 crew in that and roll around and wreck stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't... yeah, gambling, but yeah, at the same time, use your head. Use your head. And if you're throwing away cash to get a digital tank, this game has got a limited lifespan, right? I mean, it's got 2, 3, 4 years left in it, and you bought a digital tank that's going to be scope creeped, power creeped. Anyway, you're a moron. I sound like a libertarian. That's not what I intend. All right, it's 8 to 12. All right, we have an archer who didn't support Walt very much. Didn't shoot as much as he was shooting at, but he does have 2 kills. Walt has no kills at the moment, but he's close to 600 damage and 1,200 assistance. And we got a Panzer Syphilis 4B, the artillery, parked in the back. And that guy is going to be our best friend. And so we've got a Tier 5 and 2 Tier 4 tanks on our team, and they have 2 Tier 6s, 2 Tier 5s, and 3 Tier 4s. Odds are heavily against. Heavily against. 8 to 12 against. Alright, but we're in a Luke's. Not only is it adorable, but it's extremely destructive, and the T1 Heavy has his head turned and gets penned, but there are 3 artillery that can take Walt out, so he begins evasive maneuvers. Sorry about the altitude. It's like being in Seattle these days. It's just allergies 365. Alright, there's somebody in the cap. And it's, of course, an encounter map, so, we got a 3-minute counter. And Golf Dude 3, he says, alright, get ready, Artie. I'm going to go into the cap, so back me up. And we get an affirmative. So fucking teamwork happening here. Walt plunges into the cap, freezes the timer. He's a little trepidatious. And the Hellcat just removes the archer from the game over on the other side and is spotted, so we know he's on the 1 line. And there's their Panzer Syphilis, the TD. Squishy TD, who's pointing right at Walt, but doesn't shoot down the building to try and get at him, and already plants one in his side. And I didn't touch my keyboard and mouse, and it timed out, so that was interesting. And Walt, if we don't get to see that, Walt took out the Panzer 4C. Panzer Syphilis 4C. That's unfortunate. I really should just give the mouse a wiggle once in a while when I do these things, but I forget that it's going to time out. And it was one of the Windows updates, and now I can't figure out how to do that anymore. So is Walt thinking cap? Or is he thinking, I got to kill all? And then he spots the Su-8 out in the open, and he sinks a bunch of shells in him on a nice burst. 217 damage. And the Su-8's like, fuck you, buddy, and fires where he was like a minute ago. Not much good. Now, the Su-8 knows he can get a ram on here, and the Hellcat has been burning rubber over from the 1 line and comes into the base here, and he's determined to squash Walt like a bug, and he can do it in 1 shot. He's a 1-shot, 90mm gun with a 240 Alpha. But Walt pumps the Hellcat full of lead, and then avoids the ram, and the Hellcat's trying to follow him up. And, he got close, and artillery fired. Oh my goodness! Artillery's firing! Nobody's hitting the Hellcat, nobody's hitting Walt. And Walt gets his gun lit, gets it all loaded, and the Hellcat misses another shot, but he finishes off the Tier 6 Hellcat. The biggest threat from the enemy team. Artillery fire raining all about. He doesn't lose a single hit point, no stun. He's got the wiggles on good because there's 2 artillery left, not just the M37 that we can see. And he goes in for the killer move. And so it's the Lukes played by Walt with 3 kills. Almost, well, okay, 1433 damage, not almost 1500. Rounding error on my part. 1400 assistance damage, and he's going to go try and proxy spot these artilleries at the railroad track here. There's still a Matilda in the wild. Not too fast. He was one of those base campers, so who knows if we'll see him again. And our artillery takes out the AMX 105AM, and the M37 is peeking and poking, and the Matilda has joined in. He's actually here at the railroad track. The Matilda is only on 2 hit points. Now, one thing to know is that the autoloader on the Lukes has actually a remarkable amount of penetration, but it drops precipitously over distance. So if you're firing at somebody at 200 meters, good luck. You know, your penetration is falling off. I think it only has a max range of 400 meters. Could be wrong. And our artillery rains hellfire on the M37 and punishes him a little bit. Now, our artillery does not have any stun, and the splash is pretty small, but he does have a pretty high rate of fire. And so Walt is playing smart here. He's trying to preserve his hit points and let the artillery do the work. Not being a selfish player, but this Matilda is coming up, and it took a few shots, but we destroyed those last 2 hit points. We just have the enemy artillery to deal with, so we got to get him proxy spotted. Our teammate in this, the Panzersyphilis 4B, has doing his best to assist. Of course, the only targets you can see are those that Walt spots. And he puts another 85 into the M37. And the M37, he's like, can't see the enemy artillery. All I've got is the Lukes to go after. Do I go after him? Do I go after him? Nah. You know, he doesn't know if he's continuously spotted. He probably, and our artillery misses. He probably doesn't know whether he's spotted or not. You know, he doesn't have 6th sense, and he's been continually spotted. It's hard to tell, and Walt just waits for him to come over the top and puts it away. Don't buy loot boxes for tanks. If you're looking for gold this Christmas, just do that. You get a lot of other stuff too. You can get crew members, you know, that have brothers in arms to start with. Lots of other crap. You'll get your gold value, but if you're looking for a tank, don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Talk to you guys later. Happy Christmas. If you thought this was fun, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Of course it was an ace badge. Of course it was an ace badge with the fighter medal and Orlix for destroying 2 more enemy tanks in a light tank in 1 battle. And they have to be a tier higher and a high caliber and a patrol duty and a scout badge. And of course the results had a scroll bar. He even got some base defense points. He spotted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 original spots in the enemy team. So he was boss at keeping them lit. And of course those 15 shells into the Hellcat, bringing about his death on 2 reloads. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 4 bonds too. Psh, psh. It's your 4 tank. 17,000 plus win 8. Whew. Whew. Top on experience, but that shitty archer probably contributed to the assistance damage, but that shitty archer got 1735. No one on the enemy team came close to that, and only barely did the T-67 come close to the Arlukes on total damage, and he got a patrol duty. Not bad, but we wiped the walls with him. And by the way, totally carried the team, because you've got the Lukes at 1450, Archer at 1735, and then the next damage drops to 663. Pfft, crazy. Absolutely crazy. So it's 1450 damage. Super impressive in the Lukes, but even more impressive in addition to that, 1738. So over 3K combined damage, and then also pulling off nearly a 31,000 credit profit. Absolutely well played. Excellent replay. Thanks for sending it. Hope everybody likes it and subscribes. Bye.